Hi, everybody. This is The Tall Table, and we are back from watching Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil.
Yes,
Evil.
Yep.
Mistress. Evil.
Yeah, evil. Very
Mistress.
much all of that.
Evil.
So,
Mistress.
okay. Do we have somebody who would like to volunteer to go
Why
first?
don't you start?
Why don't you go first, Mike?
Yeah,
Okay.
You didn't even introduce us, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my name's Mike.
Samantha Stevens.
Dear Stevens.
I'll just put the real names on there.
I'm Ray.
I'm DJ Zion 7.
I'm Dayron.
And you would be Mike again.
Yep.
All right.
Mike, again.
Again.
And he's correct. We just came back from seeing Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. It was a really good movie.
It was.
It was.
For it to be a Disney movie,
Yeah.
it was extremely, extremely
It
eye-opening and strong.
It
Out
definitely built
of our
off-
four, who had seen the first one?
Alright.
I know that we did. Did you see the first one?
No.
I did not.
Really?
So, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that neither one of them.
Which is
had seen
funny.
The first one.
Which is funny because Jennifer actually went to go see it with Sabrina, and I'm like, "Do I got to watch the first one?" She says, "Absolutely not." She was just like, "The second one was completely. It will bring you up to speed." Honestly, it really didn't have anything to kind of do with the first one. In a sense, it's not like it was that bridger that you need to go ahead and watch the
Correct.
one to see two.
You definitely didn't have to watch the first one.
Yeah.
I would just say that you already knew who all the characters were.
Yeah, I did
when
know
it
that.
started.
Yes.
But you already picked that up anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a standalone movie.
I would disagree with that.
No.
I really think you should see the first one because there were so
What do
many
we miss?
things that came back from the first one and this one.
I'm gonna disagree. I just think that they did a really good job.
They
of
did
having
an
a second
extremely
release.
good job.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good standalone movie.
Yeah. But only, I guess we'd have to debate that because y'all don't know. I mean, because the first movie was really, really good.
Yeah.
Very well done. You definitely learned who the characters were and what their relationship was.
Yeah.
But again, I think that they smoothed that over in the entrance part of the movie.
Well, they didn't get to see her raise Aurora.
Right.
And
but
that
that's
part
okay.
is important because it's like you saw why she had the connection with Aurora the way that she was, and that she was supposed to be evil, and she was still well respected with.
Did you guys pick up on that?
I felt the connection.
I felt the connection, especially when she went from godmother to mother. You know, I saw that connection where she was saying the godmother. I was like, okay, godmother, she raised her somehow, some way, and then all of a sudden you saw the depth of Aurora, and then saying that you're my mother. So I was just like, okay, it must have been something even that much more deeper in the first one. That the reason why she's actually saying that, because that's a huge difference between a godmother to a mother. So I did see that. I mean, I did see that connection. Yeah, I really, really did.
But there was always so much going on with this
Yes.
movie that
Yeah,
you didn't really have to reference
Right.
the first movie. And
Absolutely.
I think that's why they did such a good job with it. But I think the vast majority of people who went to the movie this weekend were probably people who did see the first movie and were so hooked on it because
Yep.
it was such a good movie that y'all should try to see sometime.
Someday.
But yeah,
Sure.
someday. It'd be
Someday.
a really good day.
I'm gonna probably watch it this weekend.
I probably won't.
All right, so I will go first then with my review. What category do we call this movie?
A family movie.
Family
Ah.
movie.
A family?
A strong family movie.
All right, because I will give it a 5 out of all. Yeah, I will give it a 5 out of a 5 for the quality of the movie. For a family movie,
It is PG.
Yeah, PG. It's not even PG-13. It's PG.
PG.
And that was probably just for the violence, but the violence is not overwhelming.
No. I think most of it happens in the beginning. It's the darkest part.
Yeah, agreed. But I've never seen a bad Angelina Jolie movie. I've always been a fan of hers. I think she picks very, very good material, and she did with the first one, and then she did again with the second one. The writing was very well done because I love movies, like I've said in some of my other reviews. When I don't know what is going to happen next, that's something that is very important to me. And I never knew what was going to happen next with this movie. I knew it was going to have a happy ending. That's the only thing I knew going in because it's
we
a
didn't
Disney
know what was
movie.
going to happen in the first one. The first
No,
one was
it's
totally-
true. It was totally kept you never knew. So, yeah, it was very, very good writing, excellent acting, cinematography, all those things that make a great movie great. I was entertained the entire time. I didn't look at my watch a single time. It seemed like it just went, go, go, go. And it had a very good pace. So, again, I'm going to close mine with a 5 out of 5.
Which is good because you had a thermogenic, so you could have been very antsy and just been ready to get out of there.
No, yeah.
You weren't.
Yeah,
So,
Terry and I are actually dieting, and we're on thermogenics for the first time.
yeah,
So
God, pray
we're
for me.
starting.
Pray
We're going
for
through
me.
that
They lost
adjustment
4 pounds,
period.
4 pounds, 4 pounds, guys. Keep it. Yeah.
All right. So after mine, who would like to go next?
I get it.
Okay.
Damn it! How you know I ain't like that? Fine, you go ahead. No, you go. That's
Okay. Well, I think that the first movie was definitely important. I don't feel that this is a total standalone movie. I feel like you have to go see the first one to understand the relationships between Aurora and Maleficent. I think the crow guy, you have to understand how he became the crow guy. The 3 little fairies that raised her, that's all in the first one. To me, it all ties together. How she had to go through the things that she had to go through to keep her daughter. I think all that's in the first one. And I feel like it's an okay movie, but it should have you hungry to want to go see the first one. That's what I really feel.
So you just said this is an okay movie?
I said no, not like okay. It's like I give it 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah. There was just a couple of things I just kind of didn't like. It's like they were all fighting each other, and then like at it's the end scene. It's one of the end. It's closer to the end of the movie. They were fighting each other. Fairies and what is it? Fae. The fairies
The
were
humans
against
and
the
the
humans.
yes.
Humans, yes.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah. And so, but then they just stopped fighting each other and everything.
What? I wanted to go ahead and say something, but I was going to wait to camera. The reason why they had such a huge fallback from it was the 2 driving forces, which was the one guy that we spoke about that wanted war so bad, and Maleficent. She saw him basically get ready to get stabbed, and then got pulled back. You remember when she was flying around? So she was saying, okay, all humans are not bad. This is actually driven from one point. Also, the other thing is, with the guy that, wanted war, he actually saw it as well, too, saying, humans aren't all bad, because he could kill me right now, but he chose not to, so he pulled the soul. So I think between the 2, they were the driving force. They were the commander and the commander and the queen to it, when they actually saw both with each other, that the humans basically gave that reprieve. I think that it made it a lot easier for them to go ahead and say, okay, we need to go ahead and stop this war, because it's something bigger, which was the queen, that ended up deriving all of this.
Yeah. Prince Philip was also going around yelling and everything. Stop! Stop!
And then so was the head guard guy.
The head guard. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, I don't feel like they should have called this the Mistress of Evil, because the Mistress of Evil was Michelle Pfeiffer's character. But this is
Well, I think that was to mislead.
Okay.
Maybe
Just
they're
like
pointing to that.
But this is the second
Yeah.
one where Maleficent was not evil. She has never been evil.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, from the first one to the second one, I mean, she only wanted to protect her daughter in
Yeah.
both movies.
Right.
I mean,
But
that's
I mean,
the whole thing.
even
is about.
the trailers Disney published for this movie didn't let you know what it was really about.
Right.
Like you had some clue, maybe, but
Well, I mean, I
they were trying to
kind of.
keep that a secret.
But the thing is, I kind of knew that she wasn't going to be evil.
Well, because you knew her from the first movie.
movie, so
Yeah.
we knew she wasn't going to be
But
evil.
if you watch the trailer, she looks pretty darn evil. She looks angry and upset, and she's screaming, "And no, this will never happen. You can't marry him." And it looks pretty negative for
Well,
her.
I mean, the Queen tried to portray her that way, and she did a good
Right.
job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a big thing of it was. And she looked evil because she wore all black, so she was probably like, people were afraid of her because of the horns and the wings.
Right.
Nobody else had wings.
She definitely looks evil.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't think anybody else knew about the other flying, the dark fangs. I don't think anybody else knew.
No one
She
else
didn't
knew
even
that.
know that there was
Yeah.
other dark fangs.
Yeah.
So they see that as like, what the hell is this?
There is a major plot hole in the movie, but should I say that for later? Or
What is that?
it's a real big one, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Do you remember? This is a spoiler review, so we can talk about things. The little small guy in the basement who's doing all of the science.
Yeah.
He's picking up these little tiny pieces from the fairies, and he makes one batch of the red powder. And he says, "This is really hard to make because it's hard to extract this from the fairies."
Yeah.
And he makes one little pile of the red powder, and then within hours or even minutes later, they have explosions all over this entire castle grounds, and the entire city is exploding with this red powder everywhere.
Well, because they
How?
gathered all the flowers and they time lapsed it. It was like a day in between. they sent the people out to gather the flowers and they
Which
had
is
the
nice.
extract, and it was like a day happened in between that.
That's what it was?
Yeah, And that's what the extract comes from, is those little night blooms. That's why she felt that, and she was like, they killed our people.
Yeah.
So once he had all that material, because remember, he only had one flower.
He only had one flower with
Yeah.
a couple different pieces to it. So he already had the gunpowder, all of that huge gunpowder, whatever it was, in those jars. They just needed that. And he didn't think that the queen had that kind of fortitude and manpower to go out and get all of the different flowers.
So I had to take back my movie flower.
Why?
Okay, so don't forget to watch that when they pick the flowers. That's what it was. That's why they were red flowers, and then you've got the red powder everywhere.
So what do you give it? So what do you give it?
I said 4. I give it 4.5.
All right, so 4.5. All right, so with me, I'm gonna jump into it real quick. I love the movie. You know, I kind of got my significant other actually saw the movie and kind of came home and tried to go ahead and give me, you know, the foreground of it, thinking that I wouldn't go see it or we wouldn't go see it because that wasn't our type of movie. And I was just like, don't say nothing, because we did end up going to see it. So I love the movie 100%. Angelina Jolie is definitely all-time favorite women actor of mine as well, the actress of mine. I think she did an extremely, extremely good job. I like the fact of the plot where she was torn between family and her beings. If you want to go ahead and say, you know, it's just like, do you talk about, you know, extinction on that end, or do you talk about, you know, your daughter that you basically raised? So I like that contrast and that parallel that she was torn between during the, you know, the major fight scene. You know, I completely and utterly love that. Michelle Pfeiffer, you know, she played an extremely great character, villain,
evil.
She pulled off.
She was a really good villain.
Yeah, she twisted the plot over and over again. You know, so she played a very good role in this. Cinematography of it, yes. The special effects, completely love. The makeup, you know, we kind of saw when Maleficent started out, she was like this pale white, but then when she got closer to the wedding, she started getting her like almost like a natural color back. You know, if you kind of really paid attention to that. So definitely look at that. I was just like, wow, okay. But costumes, everything. So, you know, I'm gonna wrap mine up. Completely love it. I'm not a huge Disney fan. I'm not a completely huge PG person, but you know, it kept me entertained. It kept me like, ooh, what's going to end up happening next? And it's going to help me to go ahead and basically go and watch the first one. You know, I would have never thought that I would have did that. So with my score system, I'm going to go ahead and give it a strong 12. I'm going to give it a 5. I will give it
12 equals 5.
Yes. So he's the editor guy, so therefore I'm messing up his score system. But again, going back to what I was initially saying, a 5. 100% family movie, an adult movie, all of the above. Go and check it out. It actually snuck up on us, though. I didn't even realize it came out last weekend.
Yeah, that's weird, too. I did not realize
I lost the bet. I was like, Maleficent isn't out. This doesn't come out till next weekend. I lost this bet, so I guess what? I had to go clean. So therefore, yes, it did sneak up. They didn't do a lot of huge advertising for
such a big movie,
for a huge movie, yes. And you're right on the heels of Addams Family and some certain other movies and stuff. So I would have thought they would, but maybe the strength of, you know, kids and it being a part 2, that was the strength that people were going to go ahead and check it out. So again, 5. Love the movie. Go see it. Angelina Jolie, you know, you did your thing. Michelle Pfeiffer, you did your thing.
It was good. For the record, it was the weekend's #1 movie with 36 million.
36 million.
Which was a disappointment. They were very disappointed.
Well, they were in between those movies, between the Joker, Addams Family.
It barely beat the Joker. The Joker came in second place.
Exactly. So if it would have been when Joker came out by itself, they would have I think would have smashed box office numbers. But that's what it was with me. 5.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll close it off.
Dayrod is the anchor.
All right, so kind of to piggyback off what Mike said, it was a disappointment because it only made half of what the first Maleficent made.
Which was very surprising.
Yeah, it definitely was. Personally, I liked the movie a lot. Audiences gave it in the 90s, Rotten Tomatoes, and most of the critic websites gave it around the 40%, which isn't a surprise. Because in the last movie that we saw that Rotten Tomatoes gave it really, really low score.
Yeah. That was what, Gemini Man?
It was Gemini Man. It was Gemini Man, and then it ended up being Joker as well too. They gave it like fresh, and then they came back once critics and everything and gave it a really, really low score where it was like a I want to say 30 or 40 for Rotten Tomatoes, but the critics gave it like a 72 or 78.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that after the review?
After the review,
Oh,
yeah.
man. So they gave it even
Yeah.
lower before that.
They certified it fresh immediately. I mean, when it first came out, and then after that
It
weekend.
was the advanced showings
Yes.
that had that higher.
Yes.
Yeah, it won a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as far as Maleficent goes and Maleficent 2, I didn't watch Maleficent 1, so I thought Maleficent 2 did a good job of kind of pulling you into the story very quickly. It was less than a 2-hour movie. I think it was like an hour and 50 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And you saw the relationship that was maybe built that you could have probably got more to know of the characters if you watched the first one, but you saw some of the connection on the Maleficent 2, which was nice to kind of catch up to speed in a bit of a way. Personally, I like the movie a lot. I love the special effects. Like Ray, I'm not a big Disney fan. I like different movies where different stuff goes on, maybe PG-13 or just higher rated movies like that, just because of the content that happens. And I usually get bored with Disney movies, but I thought that this had a little bit of a violence, and it kind of kept you on your seat. And the characters were really well developed, and the costumes were awesome.
Yeah.
The cinematography was great. Whoever worked on the costumes, I forget their name, but they did a great job. They made her look evil, and I think that's why most of the people were afraid of her. So
Yeah.
they did a great job with that. I give the movie a good 4.5. So to me, it's a 4.5 movie. Go watch it in the movie theater. Go check it out in 3D if you can. It looks like there's different scenes that were made for 3D that if you have children, they definitely probably would get a good reaction from it. So 4.5 from me.
All right, that's a very, very high score, especially given that you don't like Disney movies that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So average. So we got an average score of about 4.5. I got 5, 4.5, 4.5.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
4.5,
so.
5, 4.5, and I had a 5.
Yours are the 5. Okay.
Yeah. So 4.75. 4.75.
Okay.
4.75.
But again, I got to go back to saying that Maleficent,
Maleficent.
the first one, it told how she became Maleficent. She
Yes.
got her wings cut. There was so much that they didn't know what she went through in the first one to get to this point. And I really feel that I whenever he was saying that, he saw the second part and it wasn't, he felt like he didn't have to see the first one, but I just feel like you should see the first one to really appreciate the second
Well,
story.
let's say with all the ways that you can stream these movies now, you can find this movie on the internet. I mean, you can find the movie. Recommend seeing the first one. I would recommend seeing the first one, but I'm not going to say that with as busy as people are, if you don't have time to do that before your movie time comes in to see the second one, go and see the second one.
I think what the kind of sum it all up is this. I think the movie was great. Knowing what you're saying to me and given that whole entire thing, it will try for me to go and watch it even that much more to figure out where the first one, where Maleficent actually, streamed from and all the rest of that and that relationship even that much more.
Because not to cut you off again, because I do. But the thing that's bothering me the most is because I love origin stories. To me, that makes a comic book. That makes a story. And here, you guys miss the origin story. You miss how they basically brought Sleeping Beauty
Into the story.
Yes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
it wasn't the traditional Disney Sleeping Beauty story
Yeah.
because it was all about her
Yeah.
instead of about the princess.
So that's why, to me, that's important. Because there's so many elements from Sleeping Beauty that end up in Maleficent.
So DJ Zion 7 really wants you to see that first.
He really wants you. That was what I was trying to portray in my thing, but I got cut off.
Yeah.
So, yes, I haven't saw the first one, but like I said, with the intel that you just gave me, the information, it does make me want to go ahead and see more. I mean, go and see the first one, so that way I can definitely tie it all in together at that point in time. But, again, you got those that, that have not seen the first one. If you have time, go see the first one first, and then go see the second one. But if you have tickets already bought and you don't have that time, trust me, it's going to still be a great movie.
Yeah.
you're not gonna regret it.
That's
at
what
all.
these two say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it is. It's
Ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Wrap it up.
Wrap
We
it
can
up.
wrap it up.
Always wrap it up.
We
Be
always
safe.
wrap.
Okay, well, with that, That's the
Definitely
end of our
would.
video. We hope you enjoyed watching it, and we would like you to subscribe for more videos that are like this one. But you can also look at these over here, and you can pick one of those movies.
All of those, and also Instagram. We're huge on Instagram. Definitely follow us. Definitely share all of that beautiful stuff. You get to see the personal insight of us, what we do outside of the beautiful tall table. So definitely check that out too, guys. So
All kinds of beautiful stuff.
all kinds of beautiful.
It's a beautiful,
It's a beautiful
Instagram
thing.
page.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Beautiful world.
It's the content. It's the content. They get to see me.
Beautiful content.
They say they get to see me.
Beautiful.
All right.
Sparkle.
Glitter.
Your
Best.
Live.
bye. Bye. Bye.